daily soccer podcast with the Global Sports Podcast Network.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Daily Manchester United podcast. My name is Niall and I'm back with Kieran McGinley. Kieran, how are you getting on this Monday evening?
Much better with 3 points, double
Yes.
digits. Thank goodness.
Yeah, it's been a long time coming. It feels good though. It feels good. You were thinking probably a bit positive going into that Sunderland game, but you never know. You never know with this team. So
not me, Niall. Did you not hear my previews? I was losing the plot. I wouldn't be surprised if this just is a complete battering. But no, it was not that. We played some nice football, so that makes a change.
It does. Maybe the system does work. Maybe we're back. I don't know who.
Don't say it now.
Who said that? But yeah, apologies for that. It's going to backfire at some stage. But anyway, for this evening's episode, Sky Sports, the debrief by Adam Bate. He kind of picks out a few topics over the weekend to discuss. Thought it was an interesting one, kind of focusing on our right hand side and kind of the benefits, I suppose, of the system of having this wing back role. And last year when Amram took over, he was kind of playing more defensive wing backs. This year, Ahmad has really kind of nailed down that right wing position. And the partnership with himself and Mbeumo seems to be going really, really well. And in the article, he really just highlights that because of the attacking kind of instincts and flair that Ahmad has, he kind of drives Mbeumo further up the pitch, and then you kind of have these 2v1 situations where United can really attack with two quality players down the right-hand side. I mean, it has been a bright spark for our season. We mentioned Mbeumo as one August Player of the Month.
Not yet.
It's not yet. Is he on track? Hopefully he's on track.
1 out of 2 Player of the Month, so he's on the way.
He's on the way. But how have you found that kind of partnership this season? Obviously, they're both quite new and getting used to each other, but it seems to be kind of a bright spark for us this season.
Yeah, it's kind of odd though, because we saw Ahmad at the start of last season, especially heading towards the winter. We saw him have some fantastic games as that right wing back or pushing on that right hand side. But at the start of this season, when he's been played further forward and given a more attacking-minded role, he has struggled.
Yeah,
the game against City comes to mind. He was, completely isolated and couldn't do a lot. And you saw he got so frustrated. The lack of the time that he got on the ball, the lack of ability to change the game like we know he can. And coming into the preview last week, I was sort of thinking, well, Ahmad is back now after his absence due to personal reasons. He's back now, right wing back role, put him there for a game and let's see what happens. And funnily enough, we're able to really make some and do some damage down the right hand side. And yeah, I'm really liking that sort of combination of Ahmad and Mbeumo. It's working well. And as you say, on the article you mentioned about, it's written that that Regis Labrie had to make some very early changes sort of within the first half an hour because Sunderland were overwhelmed. And I haven't seen this system yet overwhelm a team like it did on Saturday. It was so bizarre. We're so used to United taking a little bit of time to get into a game and get a bit of momentum, or as we saw from when we had the Noisy Neighbours podcast on the crossover, it was a case of it just felt like you'd get these 20-minute periods, 20-minute periods, and then you'd get the lull again. It did seem like we were out fighting, and I know it's against Sunderland, but the newly promoted teams have been quite good this season. And to have that attacking, that potency down the right-hand side of Mbeumo and Ahmad, it was really good to watch.
It is, and to be fair to Sunderland, they've had some good results this season, and we haven't exactly set the world alight as well. So every game is a challenge for us. But it's interesting in the article because there's quotes there from Amram as well about how he feels the system is playing, and particularly those two. And he's mentioned this extra guy where it feels like there's an extra guy on the right hand side. And at times it does look like that because, if you're a left back or a left side defender and you have kind of Mbeumo tucking inside you, but also Ahmad dribbling at you, it's kind of like stick or twist. Who do you actually go to there? Because you basically have two right wingers coming at you. So when it does work, it can work out really, really well, because we know that Mbeumo has serious quality as well, so you can't just neglect him. It provides him a bit more, I suppose, fluidity and a bit more space as well, where Ahmad can kind of hug the touchline and Mbeumo can drift inside. Vice versa as well, where if the ball is kind of switched out to Mbeumo quite quickly, Ahmad is kind of underlapping within him. So it is nice to kind of have that on the right hand side. And I suppose comparing it to the left hand side is just completely non-existent, because that space in that left number 10 has been occupied by so many different players and so many different profiles. Even just this season, with Mount playing it more recently, we had Cunha there as well, and we're really relying on just Dorgu for width on the left hand side. And it really is a stark contrast between the two, because anytime United do get the ball and are on a counter attack or are looking to set up a play, you're kind of watching the game going, go on, put it out to the right there till we get the two of them going at the defender. Because on the left, it's kind of, we have a lot of good players out there as well, but not the same kind of pace and electricity down the left hand side.
Yeah, and I feel like sometimes a big strength can also be your biggest weakness. If teams realise that down that right-hand side, if Mbeumo and Ahmad are playing at the same time, that right-hand side is going to be an absolute threat. So now you're going to get teams to, put their better players on their left-hand side and try and coax the play back to the middle, or at least push it towards the left-hand side. So yes, it's a great strength to have, but once teams figure out how to nullify, you've got to have something different, either through the middle or down the left-hand side, to try and change it up a bit. That long ball from Fernandes deep in the midfield up towards Dorgu or up towards Ahmad now is going to be a bit of a trademark of this system. And it's that weird thing of trying to have a lot of control in the game, but also with long balls. And that kind of seems like an oxymoron. How can you control a game and yet you're looking at three long balls. It was like a long ball every 3 minutes or something we were talking about on the Crossover podcast. Like, it's a bit of an oxymoron, but right now, Mbeumo, Ahmad, really good to watch. We know how good Ahmad can be on his day. He was carrying us up to the winter until he got his injury last season. So as long as he can stay fit, and now I've cursed it, but as long as he can stay fit, then that right-hand side is always going to be a danger until we play Dalot there, who doesn't have, the ability that Ahmad has. And, he can't, I wouldn't say he can't do it, but he almost, between himself and Luke Shaw, gave away a goal within, 4 minutes, with the ball being fizzed in to our box. So, yeah, the less said about that, the better.
Yeah, I mean, if you're playing a more defensively minded player in those positions, the opposition just aren't going to be as scared as they would be if Ahmad is playing there. It seems to be just a trademark of this system as well, playing with the wing backs, that they're such crucial players for the team to tick and for the team to work, and they're often the highest kind of the highest players within that formation as well, and kind of Bruno sitting in that quarterback position, kind of looking for those long balls. It is Ahmad or Dorgu kind of tearing up the wings and normally getting on the end of things to get it into Sesko, etc. So those positions are going to be really, really important for the system, and it's just a matter of making sure that we're getting the right personnel in there and with the right quality as well. So we've seen successful teams like Inter Milan, for example, most recently with Dumfries and DeMarco. Like, they're like the two of probably the top 3-4 most important players for that team, and they're the wing backs. So it's going to be a trademark of the squad, and hopefully we can continue to kind of strengthen in that area as well, and kind of strike up the same relationship on the left hand side. But it's a tricky one. It's a tricky one because it's tough to kind of see the consistency with this team at the minute, but we have to take the wins when we get them.
Oh, for sure. And we played quite well, I would say. The first half was definitely leagues better than the second half. I think felt like we'd sort of taken the foot off the gas a little bit in the second half and let Sunderland play the game, which not really a fan of, considering we didn't control the game against Chelsea very well, especially when we went and got themselves on equal terms with us with 10 versus 10. It feels like it is a weakness of control in this team once we go 2-0 up. It kind of feels like there's a banana skin, and that high boot that I heard from Sesko, because I had to listen to 5 Live, because obviously legally I'm not allowed to watch a 3:00 kickoff. But that's another episode, isn't it?
He just
but
put
I
his eyes
heard
up in
it.
heaven for anyone who's listening in there, so he's not impressed. Not impressed.
No. It's by law. You're not allowed by law. Anyway, long story. We'll cover it one day. But the point is, I had to listen to it on 5 Live. Vicky Sparks was saying, "Oh, it's a high boot from Sesko," and I thought, really, another red. And it wasn't until I managed to try and find some highlights. I won't say how, but I found some highlights, and it was a case of it was actually given as a corner. Came off the Sunderland player. Not sure how that came to be, but point was, I heard that and thought, here we go again. And that's just the summation of what it's been like for United recently. That we can't even have cruising at 2-0 and something has to go wrong. It's always in the back of my mind now.
Yeah. There has to be a bit of drama. What's the point if there's not, But anyway, we'll take a quick break there, and I'll be back to discuss a bit more about the Sunderland game at the weekend.
Your daily soccer podcast with the Global Sports Podcast Network.
Your body is unique, and Global Sports Podcast Network has partnered with Bioniq, the world's most personalised supplements. Bioniq provide 100% tailor-made supplements designed to deliver precisely what your body needs at exactly the right levels to optimise your health. No guessing. So click the link in the show notes. Use the code GSPN2025 for 40% off your first month's subscription. Bioniq. Don't settle for off-the-shelf solutions made for just anybody. Get what's right for you right now. Your body is unique.
Your daily soccer podcast with the Global Sports Podcast Network.
Kieran, I don't know if you've seen the clips of the United fans, the United faithful, cheering and giving standing ovations for Sen Lemon for catching a normal ball above his head. This is the pain that we've been suffering with, where the bare minimum is that you can catch the ball above your head and not let it spill. God, it's nice to have a goalkeeper like that, isn't it?
Okay, hang on now. 90 minutes, steady, but promising. It was, he did the basics right. He didn't have a lot to do in the game, apart from that little bit of madness just on the edge of the box.
Yes.
I think he got away with that, in all honesty.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, it's solid. Made some saves. When he made saves, that he made sure they were absolutely pelted out to touch or put behind and not back into play. And that was the most important thing. With Onana, it just felt like if there was a save, he would make a save, but it would then be parried straight into the next attacker. And to a sense, Altay would do this as well. It's a case of, they get to it and they manage to parry it, but it parries straight into the path of the next attacker, which if that happens once or twice, that's bad luck. But if it keeps happening, then it's more a case of, well, they're just not, they're not good at handling the ball. They're not good at catching the ball, which, you kind of need to be as a goalkeeper, slightly. But, Evans didn't catch many. I mean, the one that he did catch, over the head from a corner, I think it was. Amazing. Someone who looks like they're going to command the box. We haven't had that in a couple of years, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So this is the thing. We're so impressed by the basic things that a goalkeeper should be able to do. That kind of tells you everything.
Tells you everything.
Yeah, it does. It does. But also, my tactic, my big brain moment is working. Because you remember a couple of weeks ago, I said, I'm going to sacrifice my fantasy football here. I'm going to transfer out Sesko for the greater good of Manchester United.
You did, yeah.
He's on my bench. And I'm now down to 5th in our little podcast league. I'm down to 5th. I was 2nd. You see the sacrifices I make? Now I'm seeing Bruno Fernandes. Now I'm going to have to make another sacrifice.
Yeah.
The things I do for this football team, honestly.
They're not going unnoticed, Kieran. They're not going unnoticed. I mean, you did call it, to be fair. He needs to stay on that bench because to be fair to him, some of the hold-up play that he's been doing, been able to get in the score sheet now, it's just like a big sigh of relief for him, but also for us watching, because you're just hoping that it works out for him, and it has been going well so far over the first kind of initial hiccups that he had when the first few appearances. But now he's getting a run of games, he's getting full matches under his belt as well, and it is great to see. It was interesting, kind of, if you bring us back to maybe, I don't know, maybe 3-4 weeks ago now, maybe a bit more. Le Mans gets signed, Sesko gets signed towards the end of the transfer window. We have the City game coming up. We're saying, let's get Le Mans in there. Amorim has kept him back for 3 games. He kind of came in under the radar then at the weekend. You know, there wasn't this big clamour because he's already been on the bench for 3-4 games. He had time to adjust. He didn't have all the eyes on him in the Derby game where we were probably going to lose anyway. In hindsight, I think he looked after them well. Don't know what your thoughts are on that, but I feel like his inclusion kind of went under the radar and seemed to relax him a bit and didn't put him in a high-profile game. And I think looking back on it, it was actually a really good decision from Amorim. And maybe it wasn't by design. Maybe just Bioniq continued to be a hologram in nets, but it worked out well, and it seems he's kept his place now for the foreseeable.
Yeah, I mean, I watched Match of the Day that night, and it was Gabby Logan who sort of introduced the segment of, you know, Celemon starting him in this game. It could have gone catastrophically wrong, but it didn't. And I feel like, you know, that would have been the headline they would have led with if we started Le Mans and he concedes 3 or 4. But no, he had a good showing. I'm not going to say, you know, what a world-class talent we have, because way too early. He's got 90 minutes under his belt in the Premier League, but it's promising, and he's got a clean sheet.
Yeah.
And that's it. That's all you can do on your debut. Get a clean sheet. I don't think he faced many. I'm going to see how many shots he actually faced, but I don't recall it being as many as I would have thought. I mean, if you are an XG believer, you say he faced 0.71 XG. So that's the sort of quality of chances we're talking about here. I just want to see 49% possession. He scrolls down. Yeah, eight shots in total, 3 on target. So not, you know, facing many shots, but a corner to be dealt with as well. So yeah, decent. I like what I'm seeing.
This is what I mean. This is how low the bar was. I mean, this is how bad the situation was. They were cheering like it was a goal, and I don't blame them. Like, there was the cross from the corner, but then there was a couple of kind of lofted crosses towards the end that he just plucked out of the sky. Basic stuff. I'm talking very, very basic stuff. People applauding like we just unveiled a new signing in the middle of the game. Like, it was incredible to see, and that's where the bar was. And I'm just delighted that he's there. And what I found interesting was the players' reactions to a lot of that as well, particularly the back line. A lot of tapping on the head and, you know, encouragement after he was catching the ball, and kind of fist pumps when he was doing it. You know, Dallo kind of clapping when he made a save. At the full-time whistle, Le Mans kicks the ball out. Referee blows the whistle. De Ligt starts sprinting towards Le Mans after the game to go and congratulate him. It's clear from body language or whatever that the players are a lot more confident with him there and are happy that he's now playing. There seemed to be a lot of kind of angst between and not a lot of trust with the keepers previously. And I'm just kind of hoping that that's going to continue to feed through, where the defense can play with a lot more confidence, and they know that they have someone behind them that they can rely on. Not saying he's a world beater, doesn't really need to be either, just needs to be solid and way better than what we've had. So I was very, very encouraged by that at the weekend. And yes, he's probably going to make mistakes, but from where we were, it can only get better.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And yeah, he's 23. It's kind of a given that he will make a mistake or two. But if he does, then he's just got to dust himself down. And, you know, when that happens, it happened with Onana and it happened with Altai, and they couldn't quite shake it. They couldn't quite shake off that pressure. If Senna can really put that behind him, if that does happen, and it probably will happen. You know, it happens to every player, but you notice it more in goalkeepers because normally their mistakes normally lead to a goal. But if he picks himself up, if he's just mentally a league above, then I don't see, this season will be a learning journey for him. And I think from that one performance, I'm already seeing an improvement in the back line in total. So Alex Ferguson said it best himself. Attack wins you games, defense wins you the league.
Mm-hmm.
And when you have a keeper that is dependable, that he's predictable, when he's going to shout, he's commanding in his area. You hear a booming voice when there's a corner coming in of keeper, and he gets it, claims it, makes it his own. The confidence in the defence grows, and it only grows because they have the confidence in the keeper. They know that if I make a mistake, Sen's behind me, he'll at least give a good crack at it.
Mm-hmm.
So you need that confidence. You need that sort of chemistry between keeper and defence. At the end of the day, your keeper's your last line of defence. If and when defenders make mistakes or they get dribbled past, it happens, that's football. At least then they have the confidence to say, if I do make a mistake, Sen's back there, he's got me covered.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And it just kind of felt that there was that encouragement for him, and that they were happy that he was there and happy that he's performing. And whether there was things that they were seeing in training that felt like, this guy could do a job. It felt very encouraging by the signs of that. So hopefully now we can kind of continue to kick on. But
I just don't know why Tom Heaton led with "he's a nice lad." I still don't know why he led with that.
That was concerning. Yeah. Maybe Tom Heaton felt a bit hard done by that. He could have been the guy,
Or is he playing mind games? Is he a future manager here and he's playing mind games with the rest of the league?
Well, this is it. I was thinking of your quote as well of Alex Ferguson, that goals win you games and clean sheets win you titles. Clean sheets keep you up. So that's hopefully the goal of this season. Let's just maintain Premier League status and then we kick on from there. So
bar's high, Niall.
Bar is high. This club it's a roller coaster, Kieran. It's a roller coaster, but we'll be here every day. 5 days a week.
Oh yes, we will. Even if it's mainly the downhill parts of the roller coaster, we'll be there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we'll be there, definitely. All right, Kieran, thank you very much for joining me on this episode. You can find us on social media at gspnmanunited, where you can get the debate going in the comments of the clips that we drop in there. So yeah, be sure to tell us why we're right or why we're wrong. We're normally wrong, so be sure to comment that anyway. But Kieran, thank you very much for joining me, and we'll see you in the next one.
Your daily soccer podcast with the Global Sports Podcast Network.